What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. I want to talk about some key levels to watch for in Tesla, what's going on around the world as we have more news coming out. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 25 in total, and deposit $5,000 and you're guaranteed 60 free stocks. The offer ends at the end of July. Anyways, looking at Tesla, as you guys could tell, we saw Tesla dump very close to these EMAs. I did think that Tesla might test this green one right here, which would be around like the 333-ish area before it tried to bounce. But instead, we actually are trying to rebound before testing it. So that's a good sign so far that buyers are trying to defend it. And I want to see Tesla hold above 344. If we could hold above that, there's going to be a better chance for us to see a bigger rebound into the 350s or above for a nicer bounce. But let's watch and see if Tesla could hold just for confirmation, because the news that's coming out is not the best as we're getting very close to deliveries for Q2 to be announced. So what's happening is we're seeing a lot of talk right now about how the European sales are down 27.9% year over year as we have more data coming out. And obviously, Tesla's getting a lot of criticism for this because, once again, in many other areas from the European Union to Britain and many other places, the sales so far seem to be down even for the month of May. So, not the best of news for them. This is the fifth straight month we've seen the sales kind of weak, and we're still seeing the geopolitical effects getting in the way for them. On top of this, if you look at the Chinese automakers, many of them are also getting more sales. Well, maybe not more sales, but more like their growth is the main thing I'm kind of looking at right now. Relative to the previous years, they're actually looking stronger than Tesla's, and these charts are just showing sales in Europe remain relatively weak. So that's what we're seeing so far. We're going to wait and see what the June data looks like, and we're really hoping Tesla makes a big comeback for deliveries in China and Europe and other areas for the month of June. But so far, the data is not looking that great, and we're getting lots of negative headlines as a result of this. So we're going to see how well Tesla could hold up despite that potentially happening. Now, if the market does help Tesla bounce, but this could try to break out even higher, so watch that very carefully. As a reminder, today is Wednesday, June 25th. Keep in mind at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we got the big guy, Jerome Powell, once again giving a testimony. This time he's going to be going in front of the Senate's committee, and he's going to be answering a lot of questions. But I believe that he's just going to say the same things he said yesterday, repeating about how the Fed is just in a critical place. They're going to keep rates higher for longer because the U.S. economy can handle it, as we're showing lots of resilience. And then he's going to continue to just say the same things he typically says. There's an inflationary risk in the summertime, and that's going to determine what they're going to be doing. That's all I really see, and it may not cause way too much volatility. Now, I think the market's just going to be reacting more technically, at least for the time being, because once again, Jerome Powell already gave a testimony yesterday and kind of gave us the gist of what he's going to be saying. So we'll see how it goes, but be prepared at 10 a.m. just in case we do get some volatility. Also, there's news coming out that the ceasefire between Israel and Iran is in effect right now. Reports are suggesting that President Trump is saying the same thing. So hopefully that's the case from now on, and we don't see the war continue. Hopefully the ceasefire is in. That would be a lot more bullish because it's causing crude to drop. Crude is a lot lower now than where it was last week, and that is once again helping the market push to an extent. Finally, when it comes to President Trump, the strikes against Iran, he claims that we've ended their nuclear program. Other sources say that we've just kind of like injured it and it's now delayed by many months. But either way, regardless of what happens, President Trump did say that as of right now, the U.S. does not have interest in striking Iran again. And for now, he said that he wants peace. That's what President Trump said. Also, yesterday, he said that he does not want a regime change. He just wants to kind of like end things the way they are, and he wants the war to end. He's calling for a ceasefire. So hopefully that ends up being the case. And we'll see what ends up happening in the future. Of course, we can't predict everything that's going to happen, but for now, we're just hoping that there is some kind of ceasefire, which would be better. Also, moving forward with Jerome Powell, don't forget he's going to be in front of the Senate this time around, the Senate Banking Committee. So we'll see what he has to say at 10 a.m., what he's asked, how he responds. So get ready for that. Anyways, as far as Tesla goes, we have this potential inverse head and shoulders like structures, like a left shoulder here. This is kind of like a head. And then one could argue that this is more like a right shoulder, possibly, and then that could help us bounce more. But I'm not going to worry too much about structure. I'm going to worry more about our levels. If Tesla could hold above this resistance right here at 344, I do think we push for 348 to 350 plus. If we can't hold that, we're looking for a range between 338 and 344. And if 338 fails, it's expect us to retest 336 and 333. I hope that's as clear as possible. Those are your levels to watch for. However, I want to see Tesla try to hold 344. Whether we start off with some chop like this is possible, we kind of like chop around and then we eventually try to break this later on to start pushing higher for the 350s. That's one possibility. Or what could be happening is if we can't hold above this, then there's going to be a risk of us kind of turning back down for, this low right over here to at least 336 to 333. So we need to see if 344 holds for us to get some kind of rebound. I would like to see Tesla hold this. If it does, it's going to be a much better sign. So please keep that in mind. But overall, Tesla's doing well, and it's once again showing some life, at least during the pre-markets. So we'll see how it goes with Jerome Powell's testimony and such. Hopefully, Tesla holds 344. On SPY, we're looking bullish. Notice that we did try to push above 608. We're holding above it, but we need to see how well we could hold above this as the time progresses. We're doing a good job so far. I like to see us hold above 608 to start pushing for 610 or above on SPY. If we fail at 608 to 610, we could be retesting 604. So I want to see 608 hold throughout the day. If not, we close above that to push higher. The daily does look more bullish, and simultaneously, we're nearing all-time highs, so I wouldn't be surprised if SPY goes for all-time highs. We do look more bullish nonetheless, so keep that in mind. The 4-hour does favor 608 and eventually the 610s. As long as we hold above that, we're doing a good job, at least so far. For others out there, we have the QQQ. I want to see if this could hold above. Well, it's basically making new all-time highs now, so very awesome. I don't want to see this lose 540. If you lose 540, we could retest 538. As long as we're above this, we could be trying to get closer to 544 or above. We look bullish. The IWM looks more bullish. It could be going for this high around 215. We're going to see if that breaks to push above. When you really zoom out, we also have an inverse head and shoulders here on the IWM. So it's looking more bullish with an inverse head and shoulders. The right shoulders right here, we're breaking out, looking for 215 plus soon. As long as we don't lose like 212, we're looking bullish. ES bullish. It's actually farther away from its all-time highs. So futures are actually kind of behind what we're seeing on ETFs, but this has potential to go higher to push even more, and that could really help the market make new all-time highs. Now, if we lose 6,100, we could turn back down, but for now, we're favoring 6168 and eventually 61,800. NQ is looking bullish if we end up losing basically 22,400, looking for a dump back down. As long as we're above the store, favoring 22,600 or above as we're looking more bullish, and we have a nice break from NQ. For Bitcoin, we're looking a bit more bullish. I want to see us basically hold above 106,500. As long as that holds, we're going to be favoring a pushback up to 108,000. Tesla, once again, has this inverse head and shoulders doing well so far. So I just want to see if we could hold above 344. We're going to see how well that holds up. So keep that in mind. Let's just hope we hold up here as the market hits new all-time highs. If we hold that, yes, we could be looking for a bounce. So we'll see about that. Nvda is looking well, hitting its highs. We're going to be looking for a test of 150. If that breaks, we could be going as high as 152. If 150 breaks, we could be pushing towards 152 plus. But if we end up losing 148, we could be turning down to 146. So keep those levels in mind. But nonetheless, we look more bullish. On Aapl, we look more bullish. As long as we don't lose 200, we could be favoring 202 plus. For AMD is looking more bullish. As long as we don't end up losing like 140, we could be favoring 144. For Coinbase, we're looking pretty good right now. I just want to see us hold above that 355 area. As long as that holds, we're favoring 365 or so. So it looks pretty good right now. On Amazon, I think we're doing a great job. We're actually holding support quite well. As long as we don't lose 211, we're going to be favoring a pushback up to like 215. Meta looks more bullish. We're making higher highs and higher lows. As long as we don't lose 702, we're going to be favoring 720 plus. Google looks pretty good. I want to see it hold above 170.23 though. It might come close to testing that, but we need to break that to push more. Microsoft looks pretty good as long as we don't end up losing 489. We're favoring 495 that eventually closer to 500. Looks bullish as well. The VIX has a triple top rejection, so it's still looking bearish as the market looks bullish. So far, that's what I'm seeing. And also, what's helping the market is crude is continuing to remain at these low levels. It's not a big decrease after the whole Israel Iran situation has calmed down, at least according to reports for now. Hopefully, things remain that way. This is helping the market push, and hopefully, Tesla can hold above 344. We're going to see if we can hold above that. Otherwise, we're just going to remain range bound. It could take a couple of hours, but hopefully, we do get some buyers who defend us. So we'll see how well Tesla holds up. Watch your levels, guys. I know the news is not the best for Tesla with all the European and Chinese sales declines, but it's a-okay. Tesla's still holding up, so let's hope that we end up breaking resistance. There's still potential as it may try to follow the markets. Thanks again for listening, and peace out.